call the Finance, Legal, and Audit Committee meeting to order for April 16th at 6:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Anderson.
Here.
Baragry.
Here.
Rolfs. Here. Mensch. Marcier.
Here.
Cahill.
Here.
Delar.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Any public comment? No public comment. Burcott's representative.
Okay.
John?
They had to postpone until next week. So
They're gonna be here at full
putting them on
council?
the agenda for next week.
Full council.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we don't typically like to do presentations, but that's about the only thing that worked out for them, and it's a pretty important topic.
Okay, next is the treasurer's report. I will make one comment. The general fund, the when they printed those out, like a March 31st, we did move the $1 million into a CD, and so
That's right.
it came out of the general fund. That's why the general fund might look a little lower than it used to in that report. They crossed in when they did the reports. So we're actually $1 million up on that because the money got moved into a CD.
And Marcia, great job on that. What was that, 5%?
Yeah, 5.12.
And locking it up for what, 30 days is all?
Just 30 days.
That's huge. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
worked out great. Do we get it? Accept treasurer's report? Do I have to get a roll call on that?
So moved.
Roll call.
Who made the second? Baragry.
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Delar.
Aye.
Marcier.
Aye.
Rolfs.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
The budget is completed. It did go back to Fox 3 times, and we are balanced. We are actually in the black. And it's currently at Fox, going to get final typed up. But everything looks good so far. I'll make a motion that we approve the balanced budget.
Second.
Roll call.
Rolfs.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Marcier.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Delar.
Aye.
Baragry.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
We have a request, Knights of Columbus donation for the fireworks this year. I think you all had a piece of paper on that. For the donation, I believe it was $7,500.
Yes.
Any comments, questions about that request?
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments about the request? Nope. Okay, I'll make a motion, we accept it, or do the donation for $7,500 for Knights of Columbus.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson.
Aye.
Rolfs.
Aye.
Delar.
Aye.
Marcier.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Baragry.
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
Benny, I think you missed a couple things.
Yeah. You missed the Muller and
Oh,
the
sure.
Foxford.
I guess mine doesn't reflect that. Let me have yours. Sorry, I must have had a different agenda. Yeah.
Oh, you missed one. Okay.
I think I missed a discussion on the Muller subdivision discussion and possible action. John, you want to take it anywhere, or
Yeah.
what's your?
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, it's kind of like the candy building. I kind of see opportunities. There's an opportunity on this, but there's somebody that's made an offer on it, and I see possibilities there too, opportunities. If Mullers can get some money, they have bought a building downtown and put 2 new businesses in it, and I think they're looking actively for maybe 1 or 2 more buildings downtown and trying to get businesses in there. So if they have some money from the sale of this property, like I said, I can see opportunity with us trying to get it, but I can see opportunity of helping the Mullers out with, letting them take the offer from somebody. We had been actively looking to create another TIF there. It's part of the TIF study that we've agreed on. I haven't heard back from it. I got an update. He's had some issues with the family, and he's going to get back onto the report. He's been out of state, that being Tesca, doing the TIF review. And then also Dick Durbin, his office contacted us about kind of some discretionary spending funds, kind of like the deal with the Martin Avenue extension. And I filled out an app, a grant app, and thinking that, Republican County in a Democratic state. And then all of a sudden they got back to us and said, hey, we still want to get your letters of support. So we got them that. But we can probably back off those two measures, let the person buying it kind of take it by the horns. And if we get some of this money, we can help out for road. If not, and if they're going to develop it, then they can do the road and deed it over to the city. And like I said, if that gives Randy and Juanita some money to look into buying some more buildings downtown, I think that's equally as important. So.
I've heard that it's a cash buyer, so, I mean, we should allow somebody else to make the purchase and develop it, and, we'll make revenue off of whatever development they make off those. I think it's 40 lots in there, so.
Yeah, I mean, just under, but yeah. Yeah, like I said, I see opportunity on both sides of this thing, if we took it or if we let it go, so.
As long as the potential buyer follows the ordinances and the building codes and all that, like
Well,
Sure.
we have, of course.
Eric will make sure.
I don't even know who it is.
We
Eric will
make
make sure of
everybody
that.
else do the work, then we would expect that individual to do it as well.
Correct.
So,
Okay.
I say let them go for it. It would be a great addition to the town, and we're not footing the bill.
Yeah, and like I said,
I
if
like
they
that.
build the road, that's over $1 million out of, that we don't have to fork out if we don't get a grant.
Okay. Do we need to make a decision on this, or
No, I
just,
think-
just comment?
I think, well, I mean, unless you guys want to do a straw poll and see, but
Why don't we just table it for another month and see what happens then?
that's a good
Okay.
thought too.
I like that.
All right, take that under advisement, move it to next month.
And just on the Kennedy building, I over on Sunday, I put it out to a bunch of civic groups, kitchen cabinet group, some people looking to improve downtown and different civic groups. So hopefully something will come of that, because I think they still want to try and gift that to some kind of civic organization.
Just as long as it's not us.
Okay, anything else, John?
That's it for me.
Okay. All right, next item is the cell tower ground extension lease terms. We didn't do Fox Group, sorry. We have Fox Group engagement letter, $51,000 for next year's accounting services. I'll make a motion,
Second.
accept that. Roll call, please.
Miller,
Aye.
Barry,
Aye.
Cahill,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Delar,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Marcier,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
Okay, so,
All right. Let's see what else I want to skip. Cell tower ground extension lease term. It looks like we are currently in a contract till 2031. And I do not really see any reason to change it. The terms are pretty decent increase every year. And I see no reason for changing it until then.
Me either.
What option?
Anybody else have any?
You got the extension
Thoughts or
options
comments?
down below if you want to look into something, start a new contract, but
40-year extensions.
I mean, I don't know what this was originally when it started. Was it about 30-year or something like that?
I think so.
So,
I'll just make a motion that we continue on with the current contract to expire 9/30 of 2031.
Second.
Somebody else can review it then.
Kick that can way down the road.
Barry,
aye.
Cahill,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Delar,
Aye.
Marcier,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
All right, we have some pay increases that are proposed. We currently are in the second year in our police contract, and we are in the, next year is the final year for our public works, we call it operators, and anyway, the public works contracts. We're gonna be in the final year for that. So these are the proposed non-union employee changes in wages. And do we have any comments or questions?
What's the percentage for each one of these as far as the former rate to what we're looking at?
5%. The only one that was not 5%, because we didn't do anything with that position last year, was Public Works Director, Water-Wastewater Management. We did not do anything with them last year, so they were a higher increase this year because we did nothing last year.
Okay. And again, just asking, but do we, and I'm gonna go back to us being a small community of less than 5,000 people, don't we think some of these could be a little on the high side? Are we going to increase them 5% every year? Or, I mean, I know anybody can go on a public site and see what their yearly wage is. Some of these are much higher. I'd like to take a poll in other cities around us that are the same population and see what theirs makes, because I just find this to be a little.
Are you talking about all departments or just particular departments?
I could see a few of them. I could see a couple that I think are a little lofty myself.
Okay.
And so, I'm not saying that people aren't worth it. I'm definitely not. I think they do a great job. But at some point, when do we say, okay, we're just a little itty bitty town and we're losing people left and right? How do we support these salaries along with all the other things that we're tackling and taking on? We've added more people to the Public Works Department, and, I think they do a great job, but that was more salaries that we're incurring. Again, raising up what we're spending. So, I don't know how everybody else feels. I just think we need to look at other towns and see what they're paying. If this is adequate, if this is above and beyond what other towns of, take the census and find out, then I think we need to kind of tally it down a little bit and save money if we can. And I mean no disrespect to the people that are affected by this. I just think raising it 5% every year, we're paying more than what we have in this little town.
I was just going by the current contract that we have with the police department,
Right. They're union.
which is
It's a
their
little different.
union. That's kind of what the guide we were going by.
It might be.
And the other reason that I believe that our wages are higher is because several years ago, we would simply train, and I'm talking about police, public works, and even firemen. Back several years ago, our wages were so low that we would be basically training people, and then they would move on to another town, or in some cases just on the edge of town, and doubling their wages, and we would lose all that experience.
And part of the perspective that we need to understand as far as more employees, we took back the water and wastewater, so we had to add
Right.
more employees for
I
that.
was thinking more on the lines of the mowing and the stuff that when we look at taking the benefits and the IMRF and everything else that we now have to pay additional employees that we weren't when we were, subcontracting it out, we're probably paying more than we think.
I don't know. We were paying ERH $500,000 a year.
I'm talking about more like the mowing and
But
things
part
like
of the initiative with the mowing that Lauren came up with is now we're hiring high school and college kids. Go ahead, Laura.
How can we do that when we have a union
hold on,
contract?
We have the ability to hire seasonal workers. They are not replacing full-time employees.
No, but they're taking their overtime, which usually unions are not very happy about.
Have you guys said anything about that?
I haven't had a single complaint.
Well,
How should mowing, how do you justify overtime for mowing?
what I'm saying is if you didn't have the high school students and whomever part-time, you'd end up having your regular,
Then that means you're
Employees
not
using it.
properly staffed. You should never have overtime mowing if you're properly staffed. So you just said that we added employees, which you felt was too many, but now you're saying I should have overtime.
no. What I'm saying is it's cost, I'd love to do a comparison and analysis of what we're paying, and that's including all benefits, the whole entire package, versus what we were subcontracting it
So
out.
we-
Now, I know
Benny?
part-time,
Benny, do we need a
Added
decision on
one
this tonight?
employee- We added one employee when we took the mowing back in-house, which I believe we were subcontracting for $130,000 or $140,000.
I'd have to check,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's about 130.
So one employee does not equal
I'm not
140,000.
saying that. You have one person who's mowing? How many did we hire, are we hiring to mow?
We added one head count.
Okay. Is that person
That one
actively on the,
person-
actively on the payroll, or are
No,
they?
he's not. So we are actually currently 5 members short.
So we're incurring,
Said 5 members short.
we're incurring the workers' comp because we brought them onto our payroll. Do you see
No,
what I'm?
he wasn't an additional employee. He filled a vacant spot. We hired a seasonal employee, which we in turn made a full-time employee out of him. He is no longer with us.
Don, did you have a comment?
I was
But
wondering
you
if we
can't,
needed a
you
decision
can't
on.
control workman comp. You can't control.
I know we can't. What I'm
So I
saying
mean,
though is
you're
we're,
using that as an example, and I don't feel that that's correct
what I'm
to
saying
use
though
that for
is
any kind
that
of
we've
justification.
brought more people in. We still pay more to have them work than we were or would be in subcontracting.
it might be
I'd
able to
love
do it.
for us to take a look at both of those. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It's not affecting any of these
Well,
rates.
It wasn't
that we're talking
only, it
about
wasn't
here.
only about adding employees or subcontracting it out. It was also putting the pride back into our own parks and our own vacant lots and
I don't
taking
think
care
there
of
was
the
any-
city.
This
that
is
we
probably the
have, because
strongest-
We were having issues with our subcontractor not picking up the garbage, but mowing over that garbage. And not only did we bring that back in-house by our choice, but we had also called them and they were closing their business anyways. So we were going to be without a mowing crew, period.
Well, we
So
hadn't set it out for
was a good decision
bids,
either
so.
way, bringing it back in-house.
But I'll say this is probably the strongest crew of this grouping of people since I've been even an alderman and stuff. And the one thing that I find with the gentleman sitting over there is he's able to train and he'll be in the hole with the guys doing the work too. And plus, he's looking at various ways of how we can improve the city. That's just on one.
Jen-
Over here on the other side, I'm looking at a lady that there used to be 3 people in the office and she's doing it on her own.
But we could save money if we had a part-time person who came in. And again, no offense to Kathy by any means, I don't want you to take this personally, but we're paying over $80,000 a year to someone that is guaranteed overtime through the week and is working these meetings and guaranteed, I think it's a 2-hour guarantee, is it not? And that should be our city clerk. There's a lot of ways that we can save money that we're not doing, but we're encouraging to spend more. The
Well-
other thing that I just want to mention
Okay.
is, you know, we talk about raising Lauren's rate, and again, this is not a criticism, but how much more are we paying Robinson to do work now that was done previously by others in that position? So again, we're talking about spending more money. So it's just the idea that we're a tiny, I say a tiny town, we're not horribly tiny, but we're losing population. And then we're looking
You
at,
make Watsika sound so bad all the time.
oh, I'm not saying it's bad.
You're always telling
I'm
us it's
saying
bad.
that we're not growing. Have we had growth?
But let me ask something,
dwindling.
Keith. Like if we had a design behind the Kingdons, that project, would we have still needed to have an engineer sign off on some of these jobs?
Generally, yes.
Correct. But
Well,
the prep work was done. If we had Van Calaveras here, he would tell you that all the prep work was done in-house here. So a former Public Works Department director may not have gotten in the holes. He may not have gotten in the holes with the guys. That's their job, to get in the holes. But he was working on the plans and on the AutoCAD to develop some of this other stuff that we are outsourcing to Robinson now.
But you know, we had to repair that job after it was done.
That was
in
through
the format
Dustin
of-
Standish.
Oh, no,
that-
no.
I'm
No.
telling you.
No, they did not, Dustin Standish did not put that pipe in. We went with the design of the former Public Works Director.
That is
And
not
then
accurate.
three of those big, long pipes almost floated to a river.
That is not accurate.
can I make,
It
I'd like to make a
absolutely
comment. Yes, we pay very good wages. I will agree with your comment that we pay good wages for our employees. And I will bet anybody in the last couple of years, we've made strides in every department we have, police department, fire department, public works, with the quality of employees that we have and are keeping because the wages are high. We're not losing anybody anymore that we were before.
We still lose people. I know that Lauren's lost a few.
I know that, but we're keeping the good people here because of the benefits, because of this and that, because of the wages, and because there's a reason for them to stay here now, and we're keeping good people here.
And plus, we're doing more in-house with the leadership that we have now.
Not saying that we aren't. We have done good in the past under others. However, like I said, a few of these I think are well overcompensated to begin with. Again,
Well-
if we looked around at other towns of our size.
Again, do you want to pick anything out, or, I mean,
My question here is, as with everything else, unless others agree, I'm not going, I can bring it up that our constituents are tired of paying for all of these things, that we continue to just increase and increase. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm out,
if you're
not
talking
smoking
about
here,
one
so.
particular person, the director, public works director,
No.
and a wastewater management person,
No.
Which ones are you talking?
which, what are you talking about?
We can run
Well,
through them.
I think again.
Can we make
unfortunately,
motions
I don't-
on the
Because that person replaced two people, if you remember.
Yes, and I did not say specifically Lauren's
Okay.
department head position. I said there were a few.
Okay?
I think, and again, don't hate me, Kathy. It's not personal. It's business. The administrative assistant making $31.39 an hour with overtime would be 45. We're paying $45 an hour for her to sit here. How many nights a week? Plus the overtime that she's getting at 6 or 7 in the morning.
Excuse me, but I don't sit.
What I'm saying is you're taking notes. I understand that,
So to make
But I'm
sure
saying
that
it's
you're
45
clarified of
but
that.
it's not even your
Can
role to do
I
this.
add something to it?
The
She's
city
got,
clerk.
She's got a lot, she does a lot in here. She does at least
I'm
two
not saying
people's jobs.
she doesn't. So you
But
get somebody
no,
at
listen,
$15
if she's
an
got
hour.
if she's doing the job of two people, she's up to $31. That's
Like I
gonna make
said,
the
you
that's
motion
should
that
four,
we
get, you
that's
should get
all the new wages.
more
$15.54
work.
for you get two people in here for $15 an hour, and they aren't going to know how to do
I'm not
anything.
saying you
Say
get
it again in a
two,
minute.
but you go and you get somebody. Kathy is not going to be here forever and a day. At some point, she'll
and-
want to retire.
Yes, and you'll
So
have to
why
deal with
don't
it
we
when then.
get
So you're gonna prepare.
And
for
when we
Kathy's
replace Kathy, when we replace Kathy, there'll be two people here instead of one.
Do we want to run through this line item?
Just
No.
And there'll
do
be
as
a
you-
minimum
do as you
wage.
please,
We have a
because
motion.
I made my point.
We have a motion to accept all the wages as
Uh,
proposed.
You have to do them individually.
Hold on on one second, if I may. Just real quick here. Let's see, in 2022, she made $80,916. She has steadily increased. We have a lieutenant, Josh King, who makes $80,000 a year. He had to go through special training he's been here forever. How can a peace officer make more, with exception to, the police chief? A detective makes $55,000. An administrative assistant is making $80,000 a year. And that's why I think we're skewed on what we're paying.
Okay.
When we have a lieutenant in the police force making less than the administrative assistant, I think it's wrong.
Okay, thank you for your
So,
opinion.
Not a problem.
So I think we need to go through probably
So,
by line item.
first item is building inspector, $29.19 an hour. I'll make that motion. Roll call, please.
Baragry,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Delar,
No.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Code enforcement, $25.20 an hour. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Anderson,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Delar,
No.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Administrative assistant, $31.39. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Delar,
No.
Mercier,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Anderson,
No.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Police secretary, $22.05. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Delar,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Deputy chief, $47.90. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Delar,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Rolfs.
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Police chief, $62.04. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Anderson,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Delar,
No.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
Public Works Director, wastewater management, $68.75. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Miller,
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Anderson,
No.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Delar,
No.
Mercier,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
roll call carried.
I just wish we could have actually had some more discussion on each one, but it was roller through. But it's all right. Wouldn't have made a
Well,
difference
we can
anyway.
always go back
It
and
never
start over.
does.
It does. What difference does it make? I mean, I was gonna say something, but all of a sudden motion started happening. I was gonna say cost of living is 3.5 on average, and we're gonna go 5. So it is what it is.
I don't know what world you're in at 3.5, but
Do what?
I said, I don't know what world you're in at 3.5.
I just looked it up.
Hell, 3.5's been over with for the last 5 years.
No.
It's more like 11.
It doesn't.
It
You
doesn't
wanna hear
matter.
what Some of the
No.
rest of them do.
Let's move on. It doesn't matter.
Move on.
Then you shouldn't have accepted the police contract the way it was, because the police contract is more than 3.5%.
Let's move on.
There's a difference there,
They
Benny.
also put themselves in harm's way as well, but
Okay, the last item is, we're transfer $200,000 from 1-10-1000 general fund into 1-10-1045 capital equipment fund.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Delar,
aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Mercier,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Baragry.
Aye.
Cahill.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
Okay, any other comments?
You had budget, audit, and finance discussions.
We don't need
Is that
to.
anything in there to do, or just,
I was put in, we haven't had discussion on it since it's been in, so maybe one of these days.
Okay, anything else?
Lost my revenue coming into the new one.
Okay,
We're going in.
make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everybody.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
At 7 PM, I'll call the April, Public Works Water-Wastewater Committee to order. Kathy, if you would, please.
Anderson.
Here.
Baragry.
Here.
Cahill.
Here.
Delar.
Here.
Marcier.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Mensch. Rolfs.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
No public comment. Okay, Lauren, Public Works report, please.
Good evening. Update on well 11. We're scheduled Wednesday with Peerless Midwest and B&D Electric to do the startup on that well. At that point, we'll do a flow test and samples. We'll have to do 2 back-to-back samples, 24 hours apart, bacteria samples, and then at that point, we'll be able to put that well in service. Update on well 6. The IEPA did reach out to me wanting to know what our plan of action was with this. I think they're starting to push toward abandon and cap that well. So just giving everybody an update. I'll keep you posted, but it is looking like we're headed that direction sooner rather than later. The reason they reached out to us is because we're not taking monthly samples or quarterly or annual samples because we're unable to run that well at all. So it's now raising red flags on them. Our distribution, we're at 1,126 radios installed as of today. We will continue that. We just received 62 wall mount radios, and then we'll be placing our next order after May 1st. Fire hydrants.
Hold on, before you move on, question about some of the meter readings. I've had constituents coming to me questioning some excessively high meter readings. Most of these seem to be the Parkway type installed meters. Are we aware of what would be problems with any of those? Some
So,
of them, I mean,
so by Parkway, you mean the meter pits out in the yards?
I guess so. I never knew that was a possibility, but I've had at least 3 people that have those styles of meters that have come to me and said that, hey, you know, this month was like excessively high, and the only things that I've, told them are things that I've known in the past are, hey, have you checked to make sure your stuff isn't running? Can you have a plumber make sure that you're not having something running? One of them reached out and had, I guess, radio readings that was done, but still the readings are excessively high and the numbers of people have decreased in the property. I'm just curious is there a possibility that we have some meters that are either starting to fail, have failed?
So the pros and cons of meter pits is that you can access your meters at all times without entering home,
Right.
disturbing homeowners. The cons, that puts the water usage at that meter out in the yard. So we just dealt with a resident over in Virginia, high usage. They thought it was the meter. I personally went over there with an operator, had him exchange the meter because the readout was hard to read. So we had him change the meter. It was still showing usage, continue usage. I had him shut the valve inside the house. Still showed usage. No water coming out of the ground. I showed him your sewer lateral's right next to your water line. It has to be entering it. At first, didn't believe it. He had his line dug up yesterday and found that the old sewer lateral was taking in the water, his water line was leaking, so there's the downfall is if you have a leak on that water line in that front yard, you're responsible for that usage, because it's any water after the meter is where you're responsible for. So, that's a downfall. I would recommend if residents notice their sump pumps are running more, they may have a leak outside, going into their foundation drains, things like that to look for. It's not always a toilet or softener. Unfortunately, when you have a meter pit, you're responsible for that service line as well. You're responsible for it, period, but now all of a sudden if you do have a leak on that line, you're responsible for the water usage. But if they reach out to Kathy and identify the problem, we do credit their sewer, so they're not responsible for the sewer usage. So we do try to work with the residents.
But you have no knowledge whatsoever
As
of
far
meters
as
that are faulty.
if the meters fail, they fail to the residents' favor. They stop showing usage.
So do you have any suggestions that if I have those questions that are asked different than what I'm telling them currently, just continue? I mean, like I said, it's make sure that plumbers made sure that there's no running in the house, and if need be, just
I
Kathy at City Hall.
recommend, isolating different things in your house. If you have the ability to isolate the valve inside the house, we can check for usage at that point to verify if there's a leak between that meter and the valve right inside the home. That's the quickest way to identify if you have a leak on the water line. So if they're having continued issues, have them continue to reach out to Kathy. I try to work with the residents the best we can to try to identify where the problem is.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Fire hydrants will be picking back up on painting now that the weather's broke. I do plan on our seasonal hydrant flushing taking place in May. I have not scheduled that quite yet. Once we have a date in mind, I will have Kathy post that online, but we will be flushing all hydrants this spring. North Street water main extension, project's completed, just working to complete the asphalt and concrete repairs, which will be done under the K Street project. And the lead service line inventory grant approved. The lead service line inventory went out to the EPA recently. We will continue to update this to try to identify any lead lines we have. Right now, the model shows quite a few, but that's kind of inaccurate because we don't have dates for homes. So working with Robinson to try to get this updated the best we can. We'll continue that. We'll be doing inspections this year. We'll probably be doing some hydro excavating to identify service lines at the B boxes. But that is something that I think it's 2027, the EPA will force you to replace lead service lines. So we have to try to get this down to zero if we have no lead service lines. So we're not replacing lines for no reason. It's grant for water main extension on Elm Street. No funding granted currently. I believe we did give Keith approval to work on engineering with that. Or
Get you guys proposals and estimates.
yeah, proposals and estimates. Any update on that?
I'll have it here soon, so.
Okay. No water main breaks in the last month, knock on wood. Next item here is wastewater treatment plant. Our effluent contact tank, gearbox, and motor was installed last week, and the rake arms are now operational, so that's just in time for our disinfection that takes place May 1st. Hoping to see some reduction in chemical usage there.
Do you know when the last time those rake arms were functional? You have any idea?
I have no idea. By the looks of them, it's been a very long time. 'Cause we had to redo some of the chains. We had to get sprockets put back on. Fix the tensioners.
I'm talking about our ERH.
wouldn't say that, I would, just looking at it, it hasn't ran in 10 years at least.
Okay, thank you.
The RAS pump, the 20 horse pump that failed, it was warranted and the ship date's May 1st. Once we receive that, we'll reinstall that ourselves, get that up and running. The 10 horse effluent pump that failed from 1988, the pump has been ordered. I don't have a ship date on that yet. Next item here, sanitary and storm sewers. No update on the drainage project along Walnut. The Locust Street manhole project. Keith, you want to give an update on that?
Yeah, we're almost done with the plans and specs for that Mulberry, you said, right?
The Locust.
The Locust Street Mulberry.
Mulberry, yeah.
So Lauren and I will meet next week, circle the wagons on that one and figure out which way we're going with that, but that's just about ready for bidding.
That's the reminder, that's the one we were gonna line, but due to the cost of sheet piling, it's gonna be cheaper, most likely, to just bore a new line in there. And then we'll have a brand new pipe.
So we have the railroad permitting or don't have the railroad permitting?
Well, this gets us outside the railroad zone A and B, so we won't have the sheet piling that was required right now.
Right, like the issues we had on North Street with having to go through all that additional sheet piling that was pounded in, this casing will extend beyond their zone A of influence, so it'll just be a bore and jack. There will have to be a railroad flagger and observer on the site, but we won't have any of that additional structural work out there.
So the K Street Storm Sewer and Sanitary Separation Project, that we received, the debt forgiveness and low interest loan, we had one bidder for that. Bid was opened yesterday. Those were provided to everyone. So the storm sewer project bid came in at
$2,738,901.81. So this is over our estimate. We were at about 2.5 million.
I thought it was $1.7 million last year.
No, when we submitted in 2023, our total requested loan funding from the EPA was 2.35 million.
Okay.
Looking at the bids that we have here, there are a couple of items that we can pretty easily take out. One of the items is we're replacing about 171 feet of sewer between Elm and Victory. To bypass pump that, we have a unit price of $389,000. What Lauren can do at the Mulberry Station is simply turn off the small pumps and let it work on the excess flow pumps that would take it straight to the treatment plant.
So Mulberry Lift Station has 5 pumps. You have 3 dry weather pumps that pump and discharge at the K Street Park. And then the 2 large pumps pump to that through the force main all the way to the first flush headworks at the wastewater treatment plant. So the idea there is we'll just shut the small pumps off, dry weather. We'll just allow the large pumps, just pump it straight to the sewer plant, and then I'll just recirculate it back into the normal treatment plant through the backside of the first flush station, which will reduce 90% of the sewer flow that they would have to bypass pump. So that should pretty much remove all their bypass pumping. We will have some management that we could probably do in-house with our own equipment with the VATCON. While they're working during the day, they'll have to plug the sewer and we'll have to suck down the manholes upstream of their blockage. And then they'll just be required to reinstate the sewer on a daily basis, so that way at night it can flow normal. But the idea there is we can remove 390,000.
So
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go from recollection here. So this was that forgiveness for the EPA and a low interest.
Yes, there's a
Now, are we
million.
still only going to have to finance 700,000, like what was originally discussed?
No, that was with the original discussion. So every year when this is the third year that we are at the EPA for this. There's a 5-year, when you do a project plan report, it's good for 5 years. Each year, costs of construction go up and we update the numbers that we send into the EPA. So in February of last year, the amount we had told the EPA that we were looking for loan funding was at 2.3 million. With this bypass pumping out, we're right about at that 2.3 million, and then the city gets about $1,057,500 in debt forgiveness, so that would come off of that. So the 30-year loan that you'd be looking at is about 1.3 million.
So I think the numbers we were looking at was from what, 2020, the 1.7 million?
Yes, that's
Okay.
That's my guess, but as I said, every year, because it's a 5-year project plan and costs go up, and especially the last couple of years they've been going up, every year we update that to the EPA so that there's enough money available for the loan to cover the part that's not the debt forgiveness.
And then they update their portion of forgiveness also?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
And you
Surprised I
reached
remember
out
back
for
that many years.
confirmation on that, correct?
I've already reached out. She actually called me back when you and I were on the phone.
Okay.
She's in a conference tomorrow, but the lady that I deal with at the EPA is gonna reach out to me either Thursday or Friday, and I will confirm these numbers with her before next Tuesday.
Another item that we were looking at was the backflow preventer, which was what, 40?
About $43,000.
So there's a backflow preventer we will remove out of the sewer and put to the end of the discharge, which should be more like, what, $3,000 or $4,000 flat.
Right.
So that should be another, roughly $40,000 savings off of this bid. So that was a quick go through from yesterday to today on looking at what we could remove. Keith and I are gonna continue to go through this, see if there's anything else we can tighten up, but
Those are the two items that jumped out at the start. So we're looking at just under $440,000, and we could pull out of their contract.
So that'll put us at just about the 2.3 million.
Right.
That makes a new total what?
2.3 million for the bid.
The way it would work is that the city would have to award the full contract, and then you can do a change order the same night to reduce and eliminate those two items from the scope of work.
But again, that's gonna put a little bit of work on Public Works, but we're willing to do that to save the 400,000.
So you need a motion to pursue.
Yeah, we need to make a decision if we wanna move forward with this. What is the bid good for, Keith? 30 or 60 days?
So is it 2.73 or is it 2.893?
$2.738,901.81.
Minus,
And then we're looking to have a change order to eliminate about $433,000.
And just 4 years ago, it was 1.7, and now it's this high?
We're seeing it across, it's not just here in town. Construction costs have been going up pretty substantially in the last couple of years. There's a lot, when COVID hit, a lot of the construction industry, you deal with equipment and machinery. Well, that's been backlogged, and the prices, we've been seeing them across the board for all projects are going up substantially.
so some of my concerns have been the late bidding. I think I've voiced this before, is bidding in the spring and summer. I don't know if that's why we aren't attracting other bidders or what. So, Your other option is reject this bid and go back out to bid in the fall to try to entice other people for the next summer. But now we're extending the North Street gravel we've got going on for another year or more. And then you also run the risk of getting higher bids again because inflation. So,
Yeah, the bids aren't gonna go down.
Yeah, we've had towns where we've had multi-million-dollar projects that we can't get bidders on because either the equipment's just not available in a timely fashion or the contractors don't want to have to deal with suppliers. So, I mean, it's not just here, we've been seeing it in a lot of places.
it is disappointing that we only received one bid on all our projects though, because
We did reach out to additional contractors on this. We probably reached out to about 7 or 8 contractors. There were finally 4 that we were able to get to pick up the plans, and only 2 contractors acknowledged the addendum receipt, and only one of those bid it.
Okay, well, it's not gonna go down.
Well, I'm gonna make the motion in and we move forward with it.
So moved, or second.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Delar,
Aye.
Marcier,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Cahill,
Aye.
Barrigree,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Roll call carried.
So then Keith, you or Lauren make you notify him of the change order before?
We'll prepare the change order for the council meeting for next week.
Okay.
And if you guys vote and approve the contract for IPC, if Kathy could get on the agenda I'll get you the information, and it'll just be another motion or resolution to do the change order of the project.
Okay.
and then there'll be notification to IPC at that point. So the second part of that project is the asphalt work on K Street, North Street. So you'll see a second bid tabulation here. Engineering estimate was $228,330. The IPC came in at $155,8250, so they actually came in less on all the asphalt work. So Keith, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from Walnut to North Street, including the North Street work.
Yes. However, because the EPA money is involved, we can only repair the pavement that's over the top of the utility we're putting in. We can't do all of K Street, for example. The city also has about $87,000 in RBI money, which has to be spent by July of next year. You guys have an MFT project that will have a bid opening next week on. There was talk about a second MFT project that would do the entirety of K Street, meaning that the alternate bid for K would not be needed. You would use up the RBI money and supplement it with MFT money to finish the entirety of K Street, so the entire street is paved. North Street from where we ended the water main over to the Public Works Garage, and then the south block of 5th Street over by the Iroquois Hospital. So we're working on that, so that would take that out of this project so that we can do the entirety of K Street rather than just paving the west half of it.
We don't want to just do part of it. We want to do the whole street.
The other issue is the RBI money. It has to be spent by July of next year. The way the state works, you won't get somebody to come in and pave before July of next year, even if you bid it in December. So we're looking to do that, pave it separate, and that would be outside of this project, and take care of that south block on 5th Street.
So this 155 is just covering the portion that we're disturbing through this project.
That was simply a contingency, just so that if this
Okay.
MFT project did not go through, you would still at least get K Street paved. But again, the
So-
plan was not to do half. I can't do all of K with the EPA money,
So realistically, this will,
not be accepted.
okay.
Yeah, so the alternate bid, we would recommend you guys not accept it. I will say, though, that their asphalt price was better than we've seen in a couple of years. Just to give you an idea, their asphalt is at 95 a ton for binder and 111 for surface. The last couple of years, we've been seeing between 130 and 140. So price at the pump is up, but maybe the price of asphalt is coming down.
But we want to continue the course with the entire road, though. So that's okay.
So need to move on a motion with that. No?
I don't think we need to do anything with that, right? Or do we want to make a motion to reject that portion so we cover?
We could in that way, and again, I can get Kathy the language for next week's meeting.
So save it for next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next item here, the 48-inch storm sewer behind Kingdon's. We have not made it back over there. We are now finally hitting some dry weather to where we should be out there soon. I'm hoping to get that completed. Next item here is the county drainage project. The county received bids for the 12-inch tile around the courthouse and up to the north portion of Loveridge. It was about 50,000 with the inlets, and that is with the city doing the crossing of Grant Street. I had Keith put together some numbers on what it would cost the city to do the road crossing as if we were a contractor. It'd be about 17,000. So talking with the county, I propose that we add the 50,000 and the 17,000 together and split the cost 50-50, which brings the total for the county to 33,500, and the city's portion to their contractor is 16,500 to do the tile work, and then the city employees would handle the crossing of the road. So we would incur the cost of pipe and stone. We already incur the cost of labor, so.
Where does the south end of that connect into?
Ties into there's a catch basin on the east side of 10th by Porter.
So it'd go
So
behind,
they would go all the way down
around the jail
It'd be
and,
just across the street from Porter, which is that storm sewer. It crosses under 10th. So I think originally we talked that this project was going to be closer to 200,000, and I think there was a little bit of negativity toward the 50% split at 200,000. This came in much lower than expected. So I think at 16,500 on the city plus the road crossing, I feel that we could probably do this for about 20,000 with the road crossing, pipe material, stone, and asphalt. I think this is a huge improvement to the whole area. I think the county's going to be doing their portion, whether we do it ours or not. I think it's a good opportunity to kill two birds with one stone here. We've got an issue on our side, they've got an issue on their side. I'm trying to get approval. I think it'd be good for us to have approval so that they can go to their board knowing which direction the city wants to go. It's hard for them to make a decision not knowing which direction we're going. So I think we need to make a decision so they can approach their board and say yes or no, whether the city's on board with this project.
Well, you said they were going to move forward with it, whether we're
Well,
in it or
their
not.
portion or not, but that determines their elevations and how far they're going to Grant Street.
Again, I don't think we need to incur the cost. It's on city, or it's on county property. It's not ours, it's theirs. Again, that's taxpayers' money that we're putting in there. That's labor that could be used on infrastructure inside the city, not on county property. So whether the cost is, $20,000, $200,000, again, I don't think that it's something, it's not on our property.
I thought 20% was thrown out there at the last meeting, which would be about 40,000 of a $200,000 estimate.
That's what
So
you
this is half of that.
Well,
Hey Kathy,
again, I don't believe
you
that
mind,
it's
can we
necessary.
look that up?
Where it's crossing the road on Grant Street, is that part of the road what Sika's, or is that county
It's
road?
with the pins. Just give me the,
That portion would be city,
So that portion is city property then?
yes. 'Cause I believe it transitions the county at the curve.
I think so. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've looked at it, but I'm pretty sure it transitions the county at the curve by the admin building.
So it doesn't go any further south than, our property doesn't go any further south than Grant Street? Doesn't go any further south than the, in,
But
That
the
field to
courthouse
the
and
south.
the jail's in the city limits.
huh?
House and the jail is in the city limits, if you look at it. In fact, the administration center is too.
maybe click.
So this would run
Could you-
behind
you
the
could-
garage?
Could you do a
The
couple of
current
lights?
maintenance
It-
garage?
If the whole project
Yeah.
is, yeah, it would run on the
It
east
would
side.
east side of where they're planning on doing
And then
the,
behind the maintenance garage and go west?
It would go
Yeah.
all the way south to where the
almost to the
power
field.
line is, where the crop line and the grass line is at the south end of their, where
Yeah.
they have grass, and then it would head west along there, and then south along 10th to
Swap the
Porter.
lights. There we go. Hey, even better.
Don't tell me it's not working.
I'm not sure.
Pissed off. Yeah, so it's actually after the curve then.
Yeah, so it's well within the city.
Yeah.
Their limits are here, we're crossing clear down here.
Yeah. So a portion of this is actually city limits too.
Is this what they said would work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just.
So the county or city limits stop at the north driveway of the admin building, north of it. So a portion of this pipe will actually be in city limits as well.
The north
Maybe we don't have
drive
the right
of the admin building?
So if you're, so the way the right of way is on Loveridge, the east property lines, as it's going up the road,
I don't know if it's,
the right of way is narrower, but when you get to the cul-de-sac, the subdivision jutted out. So if you can imagine where the ball of the cul-de-sac starts for Loveridge, that's where the county property ends. So it would just be the, you know,
So straight east of the cul-de-sac and then, if you go east of from the top of the ball,
that
if you
is,
go east of that to that's,
No, you're too far north.
it's
Probably
way north of the
it's
curve.
probably the bottom portion of the ball, straight east would be,
if you're standing on Grant and looking towards Loveridge, let's just, roughly speaking, the south half of that is in the city limits, and then it's the north half it's owned by the county, but it's not in the city.
I think it's shut down.
So everything except that north piece is,
I don't know if it's gonna work or not.
What was you gonna show us, John?
Well, I've got a photo here where this entire, basically where the city's culpable and has some responsibility where they did not enforce their rules at the time. They put in an undersized pipe for the storm drainage. I think it's only what, a 12-inch?
yeah, the subdivision, the Loveridge subdivision was not, it was from years ago, so it wasn't designed to what the standard would be today, but some of the infrastructure that was shown in those improvement plans was not installed, and it's nothing against, you go back in time, a lot of communities didn't police developers, it was kind of an honorary system, and then towns found out that developers didn't always put in what they were supposed to. But the pipes draining Loveridge from within are undersized from what the original plans show.
So I'll just come around. Because this is kind of an issue where it's affecting 9 other homes. It's not just the mayor. That's what seems to be part of what I hear. This is after one storm right here. As you can see, the road is still, okay? But I've got a video, and I don't know if this side can kind of group in. So if you look on here, this actually starts on the east side and it circulates through. When you get up to these houses, you actually have current going between the houses. This would be Hutchison's and Reduce. Okay? Due to the undersized piping that we didn't enforce at the time, that's created this problem. So it's not just it's not really a flooding issue, it's a drainage issue. In 97 and up until about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a puddle stayed there for about a day and then it was gone. Now they're staying for a month, 4 weeks. Something has collapsed, that's on the county property, but the undersized piping is on the city. And there was also supposed to be a swale that went behind the houses that took it over to the ditch to take it across. And if you look on that video, you'll see the red light going off on our lift station. That becomes inundated, and then it's also a health issue there. You guys care to see? I mean, I don't want to.
I was watching it as you were over there.
I know what you're
looking at
talking
it.
about.
Mhm.
So when you have water pooling around a lift station, you're obviously flooding out your collection system, backing up the sewer and homes. If the lift station can't discharge it fast enough, then the wet well fills up. The gravity system has nowhere to go because the wet well's full.
That would be a concern.
And the county is willing to work with.
The county's they're trying to move forward. Obviously, they went out to bid to try to get actual cost. I think they want to move forward, but we need to give them an answer whether we're wanting to do our portion of it and willing to share some of the cost. I think for 16.5, I think those are small dollars to resolve a water issue. I know we have water issues throughout the entire town, and we're trying to tackle them one at a time. You know, we tackled the Park Street issue. We tackled some issues by Fire Station 2 on West Side.
Kingdon's, behind Kingdon's.
We're working on Kingdon's. I mean, it's just one part to a big puzzle of a lot of repairs that are needed. But do you pick and choose because it's in a certain neighborhood? No. You know, we have an opportunity to work with the county. I think it's smart to move forward now while we have the opportunity. But
And one other thing I have, this is off a Loveridge Lane drainage report that Robinson did years ago, and highlighting certain parts of it. Based on the information obtained from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Loveridge Subdivision, Second Edition, is not located within a wetland. Not located within a wetland. Based on the information obtained from FEMA, Loveridge Lane Subdivision, Second Edition, is not located in a special flood hazard area. Going on from that, there are 3 curb inlets on Loveridge Lane, also connected to the existing 12-inch storm sewer. Based on the tributary, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Areas to these curb inlets, the existing 12-inch storm sewer is undersized.
This is our motion here.
and I do want to
Our
point.
engineer telling us this.
I do want to point out that the county did reach out to me on this. So this has been initiated by the county to resolve an issue around the courthouse, around a building that they're planning on extending for their soon-to-be morgue, that they want to tie drainage into this as well. So, I mean, it's an opportunity. It's like everything else. You kick the can down the road, you're gonna see inflated costs one way or the other, whether you do an entire storm sewer yourself or even if you're able to tie it into later in life, it's going to be at a higher cost.
But
How many houses are in this, John? How many houses
How many
are in
are
Loveridge?
affected? It starts over by the Stick Knots, that's the indoor, actually over Taylor's it starts a little bit, but more behind the Stick Knot house that has the indoor pool
Yeah.
to the south, and then it comes directly towards that northeast corner, and then goes around to Hutchison's and gets behind Gokins over there. So basically, I think the last count, with including mine, it was about 10 households.
And I do want to point out, when that lift station's overloaded and we end up backing up a basement, it's gonna cost you $10,000 to fix that basement, because
I
we
didn't know
will
if
be
you saw in
liable.
the video, the
So, I
red
mean,
light flashing. I had a still of it. I don't know why it's not coming
and
on
that comes from experience. I've had issues with communities that overloaded our lift stations because of their stormwater. It becomes a battle on who's responsible. Unfortunately, we take care of the stormwater and the sanitary here, so it's our problem when we back up sewer into a house. But again, the county's the one that approached me. I just want to make sure you guys have this in front of you. I think it's a good project, a small project that helps resolve some issues here.
I'm gonna make a motion, we move forward with it.
Second.
I know what standing water's about. I live with it 24/7, every day of the year.
Them pictures were familiar, weren't they, didn't they?
What's that?
I said them pictures look familiar, don't they?
Yeah.
Ready? Mercier,
Aye.
Baragry,
Aye.
Cahill,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Anderson,
Abstain.
Rolfs,
Aye.
Delar,
No.
Mayor.
Abstain.
Roll call carried.
Back to me, sorry. GIS mapping, I'm just keeping this on here, updating things as we go. Obviously, every day's a learning experience with an 100-year-old collection and distribution system, so it's good that we're updating this as we find and discover the
So we're doing the GIS updating ourselves now. We don't have a service anymore, right?
well, we have a service, but we try to capture as much as we can and do any corrections we can in-house, and then we lean on them for any major overlays and stuff.
Okay.
Next item is parks. The concrete installed at Peters Park for the uphill bleachers and the picnic table. The concrete was in pretty poor shape under the bleachers. We extended that and replaced it. Made some major improvements. There was a lot of trip hazards over there. Park is looking really nice. We got the Little League banners installed out at Peters Park and Forest Park. Next item on my parks item, I provided you guys a quote for a dog park fence that would be west of the tennis courts. We have that large unused area. Talking with the Little League and several other people since I've been on board here, there's a lot of issues with the dogs being put inside the ball diamonds and just let run loose. Talking with a lot of residents here, I feel like a lot of people have been looking for a dog park. There's really nowhere to take your dogs to let them run. We have a pretty large area that's unused west of the tennis courts. I think it'd be a great opportunity to put something there, fills that void. Unfortunately, the fence is a little bit pricey. For just a plain galvanized fence, but this would be two areas, one for a large dog, one for a small dog, and then a double entry for safety. It comes in at $28,725. So I wanted to bring this in for a discussion.
What's the maintenance of it? Like, if you do have a dog park, what's involved with maintenance? Like, if they poop in there?
So
like,
we would end up purchasing some of the doggy bag holders and putting in some garbage cans and some signage to pick up after your dogs. This fence does have two 10-foot double gates to still be able to get mowers in for mowing. we would have to put up some signage on rules. We probably copy another dog park on rules and requirements to use it.
What if they don't follow it? 'Cause
That's a tough one to police.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it gives our residents an opportunity to use our park in a different manner.
I think it's a great idea, but we're having trouble with people just following normal park rules the way they are.
Well, I think the people that use this may be the different type of people that would use our parks, so you would, I think we have some really great parks, and this would be a huge attraction to Peters Park. I think a lot of people already take their dogs out there and run. Unfortunately, they're using the wrong space, the ball diamonds, so this would be an
Close the
opportunity to,
gates and let them go at it.
yeah, so,
And this job would be done by this particular company?
yes. This is 28,000 installed material and all.
It's prevailing wage.
Could you install it?
Yeah, can we do that in-house? What would it cost you to rent a attachment for a post hole digger for the front of that Bobcat? Dig those holes, set those posts. I mean, is it possible that you can even reach out to a Boy Scout troop, find out if there's an Eagle Scout that needs a project? I mean, this is the kind of thing that's right up that, at least to have enough discussion, but to drop just 30 grand in a whim on a dog park, I think I'm gonna have constituents that are gonna be questioning that like crazy. I'm not against it in any
I
way,
can
shape, or
I can
form.
get the cost on the material alone.
Huh?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, is there, I don't even know, is there an
I just-
active Boy Scout group around us anymore?
And I get what you're saying.
You know,
on that. I
back-
just wonder what happens to warranty. Would that?
I don't
would
know.
that be a-
I think we can maintain it. Our public works can easily maintain chain link fence. So, you know.
I mean, I can get an updated cost on material alone to see what the labor savings would be.
I mean,
You know, we could,
I think we have, personally, I think we have some bigger issues to deal with than doing this now.
I'm definitely, I'm not against it. I mean, I
I'm-
think
I'm
there's
not
a lot
against
of
it
people
either.
that would
Even if we do it
be willing to
in-house?
look at it and happy to have it, but I just think that having it presented and then try to decide it at the same time right away, I don't
I'm
think
not-
we've done
I
due
wasn't
diligence
looking
to
for
look
a
at- no, I'm
vote
just saying
tonight,
is
but-
I think we can look into it a little bit more to see if we can do it in-house and still make it happen.
It
It might
could,
be a DNR thing.
it
Sure.
it could also be that some organization might want to put that at our park and
Yeah.
donate it.
I've seen signage up on them that says donated by,
Right.
so, you know.
I'd say let's table this for now and let's talk about it maybe at next meeting.
One other thing I want to throw out, Lauren, I think this is, since I've talked to you about it, personally, I think Peters Park's a bad location. Peters Park is jammed right now. It's got 3 ball diamonds, it's got a concession stand, it's got a pavilion.
Tennis
Kids this tall and dog crap's not gonna get along. And I understand it's fenced in.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a dog park, but just not in that location.
I think it needs to be centrally located somewhere.
We got a big open lot over here.
well, we thought about that. I thought about that as well. My concern over there is the walking path and the amount of people that walk that, and then combine that with dogs. The little old lady might not want a dog barking through a fence at her. I was concerned about that.
What about the lot on the end?
I was talking about the lot all the way over on the other side of Veterans.
On the other side of,
Oh, by Boot Pond?
yeah.
That might be a great place.
That's only a thought, but I
Where are
think
you talking about?
By Sock Pond over there.
Over
by,
here.
Next pond over.
across the
Boot-
line,
by-
south of the
yeah.
trucking, see the-
Oh, out there by the,
Jay Morris's building.
yeah,
That'd be
okay, all right.
longer runs for fetch.
Be straight runs too, where this we kinda had to,
there's
curve
plenty of
around
room
a
there to
little bit.
put maybe some park benches, and there's some trees already planted.
Maybe the dog just keeps some geese away.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
That was kind of mentioned earlier.
Let's put it around the whole.
Well, they'd run to the fence and bark at them, and maybe they scared them away.
but either way, location or cost, whether we do it in-house, I think if we did in addition to the city, a dog park of some sort, I think I think we'd see a good use of it. I think there's a lot of people that are looking for somewhere to run their dogs.
Yeah, I
that-
agree.
I'd like to hear people's ideas where
And if it gets misused, we'll have to take it out.
And see, really, the only other thing that was talked about in that area over there was putting in like 12 spots for like RVs and stuff, and I don't know if that's feasible. There was a map or something done on that a while ago.
Like a small RV park.
Kankakee did it.
The RV park or the
Okay.
dog park?
Well, they got both.
Well, yeah.
All on the same end over there in the south end of town. There's an RV park
Yeah.
in there. So Park District runs that.
Okay, so
They did in the past. I don't know if it's there anymore, but I know it was there.
well, we'll try and see what the grant consultants can come up with, and we'll check DNR. And sometimes they have contests. I think Jacksonville's dog park got done by Paws. It's where they don't put the dogs to sleep. I forget what they call those dog kennels.
Rescues or something?
No
No kill shelter.
kill shelter.
Well, food for thought.
Yeah.
I think it's something to think about for the future, and if it's something that we decide on location, we can just get cost of material and try to do it in-house as a cost savings as well. Next item here is the LED lighting for the tennis courts at Peters Park is scheduled for 4/18, so this Thursday. And there will be a push button that will turn those on for an hour at a time. There will be a backup timer that will only allow it to be used from a certain time to a certain time. So that way, if you go out there at 2 a.m., push the button all day long, it's not going to turn on. But this way, they're only on for an hour at a time.
That's at Peters Park.
That'll be at Peters Park.
You guys good with 10 o'clock for adults playing pickleball?
10 o'clock at night, you mean?
Yeah.
You mean as the
And
end
the whole
time?
timer shuts it off.
Yeah.
Any issues with that, anyway?
As long as it don't get misused by others.
Good point.
As the park's closed at dusk.
That's why I'm saying with our PD that they have to be adults.
Yeah.
Or if they do have kids, they have to be accompanied by.
So I'll
Sort of
set the timer to shut the lights off at 10 p.m.
Yeah, 9, 10, I guess. You know,
So-
whatever, we'll sign it.
Well, it's an easy, quick adjustment I can make, so if we find that we need to back that off, we can. So
Okay.
we'll start off at 10 and go
No,
from
I
there.
think that's good that you got the hour thing.
Yeah. LED lightings for the downhill baseball diamond scheduled for 4/22, and they'll take the lift over to Forest Park. There's a couple lights they have to fix there. Unfortunately, our lift is not big enough to reach those lights, so B&E has to rent a lift.
So that's
But that
gonna
was
be
part
done
of their
before
quote.
opening day?
Yeah.
Good.
Fish delivery for restocking ponds scheduled tomorrow at 2 p.m. We started the pond pump installs. We got the ones here at City Hall installed, one over at Lakeview. The rest will be installed this week. I think that's about it for parks. Streets, our MFT heat and recycle project, the letting is next Tuesday, the 23rd. So we will put that on the agenda for next Tuesday night to discuss the bids. I'd like to be able to make a decision Tuesday night so we don't push this out a whole nother month. Unfortunately, we won't have bids until Tuesday morning. Can we still put that on the agenda for Tuesday night?
Let's do it.
Yeah, put it on there and then just depend.
I'll have the updated cost for you before the
If you
meeting.
don't get it, we won't, don't-
Yeah, yep.
It'll be 10 in the morning. We'll have it and we'll review them and have a letter to Kathy to put in your boxes before the meeting.
Martin Avenue Extension, I'll let Keith give you an update on that.
So I'm gonna get a notice to Kathy this week for advertising for bid. We've sent the appraiser information for the Martin property and he's reaching out to them. I have EPA permits here tonight. I'm gonna ask Lauren to sign and then, I'll have to have we have to have, I think, the clerk sign it as well, so I'll have to have Amanda. So we're moving on it. I've had a couple of conversations with John Martin, and he seems fine with everything that we're doing out there, so he's in favor of it. He's had a couple of questions. I've been able to answer them, and he's just trying to head off any issues that the neighbor properties or somebody might have, so.
Now, when we did this, we added for inflation. We gotta do this for the amount of this grant.
We do, yes.
Yeah.
We did put in there, when we put in for the information to HUD, that the water and sanitary are alternate bids. So the goal is, right now, they fit in with the budgets we have. If something comes to and something has to be eliminated, we have the option with HUD to take out one or both of those utilities. But with the prices, with actually the asphalt and aggregate prices we got on the K Street project, I don't see that being an issue.
And they can get started. Get this construction season,
Yes. Yep.
probably not finished.
Depending on how hard they hit it, we should be able to get it completed this year.
Is water main and sewer gonna be under the road? No?
No, there'll be the sewer. So right now, Martin Avenue to the west, the sewer is in an easement on the north side of the right-of-way, and we'll continue that. So it'll be on the north side in an easement. The water main will be on the north side of the road within the right-of-way. And then the storm sewer will predominantly be on the south side of the street. We're trying to, you have to keep the water separate, and that's just following how the,
You have to have a
West-
10-foot separation.
and that's how the eastern part of the road was, so we're just continuing that. The sanitary sewer will go up towards 10th Street and terminate. The water main is scheduled to go up 10th and tie into Porter, so we can loop the water main, and that'll provide better water quality for the assisted living center down there as well, because right now they're on a dead end. This will actually loop it up to Porter Avenue.
Will the,
Yeah.
street lighting, will that all be bored, right?
The unit duct for it,
Yeah.
because it'll all be under construction, however, some electricians, it's easier for them just to drill it, and others, they might trench it, it just depends, but it'll all be landscaped, so the electrician will have his option of how he wants to do it.
Okay.
Are you allowing taps in the water and sewer for future development of homes along that street?
Only the platted lots that will be along that street. We aren't putting any taps to any properties that aren't platted, because things can change in the future. You'll have a water line that might get clipped, or you have a sewer line that can get cracked and it'll start taking groundwater, and you don't even have a customer to show for it, so only where there's platted lots.
And with sewer, you end up stubbing
They-
up
but
out of the
they'll be-
ground, and if they're
but they'll be
farming the
under-
ground still.
Have to go back and cut street later. to
Or
install.
bore. They would just bore.
They could bore them in the future. The eastern half of that extension is in the floodplain, and for the developer to develop those, there'd be some substantial earth moving. They'd have to provide compensatory storage, so in the meetings that we've had, he has not indicated he wants to do that just because of the additional cost for that. Martins have additional property on the south side of what this road extension will be, and it's actually the east side of the assisted living center and along the south side of the assisted living center, and that's all outside the floodplain. So I would imagine if he were to develop, it would probably be one of those areas first.
Will they still try to farm on the other side of it? Are we gonna have like reinforced asphalt or a place where?
There's gonna be a couple of like driveway aprons, and we'll thicken the sidewalk so that they can get their farm implements outside. Cause yes, they will continue to farm both sides.
And I think when we had the talks with Johnny, it's gonna be 10 lots for pretty decent sized homes, correct?
It will match what he's got to the west.
Okay.
It worked out well because where the future road stubs were in his concept plans is where the lots end. So if he does develop, he can go back on his old concept plan and follow that.
If you've ever been by that school during drop off or pickup, this is, I think will help the traffic patterns huge.
Especially during events.
And also during events.
Um,
That's what we sold it on, was just getting safety equipment back here.
Next item, I just have a reminder that the UP is doing the railroad crossing on Walnut, April 22nd. They did expand that to 5-day shutdown, so, I know the route and everything's been posted online. It's going to be a little bit hectic. I mean, we're gonna see increased traffic on all our side roads, North Street. I'm hoping the semis follow the reroute, but we're just gonna have to work through it. And
And that's Union Pacific, not the city of Watsika.
That's the UP, yep, Union Pacific's doing this. So that
Can
that
you
has
line
been
it
an
up?
ongoing, yeah, that has been an ongoing issue up there. What it is the rail ties underneath the concrete pads are deteriorated, so the anchors that they use to lock the pads down don't stay, so the pads sit there and rock. I've sat there and watched people drive over it, and they rock. So what happens is the low boys and lower vehicles, they rock, and then they kick up and catch the trailers, and then they get torn to pieces.
So Carla, different font, bold, italicized, underline.
And if anybody wants other people want their crossing fixed, they need to take that up at the railroad,
Yeah.
not the city of
So
Watsika.
all the semi-traffic, Lauren, will go to 152, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to, so,
I'll have to notify our city law enforcement, right?
yeah, yep. I mean, we have recently posted signs on 4th Street, there's no through trucks, so we're trying to make sure they stay on the truck routes. It's going to be a headache, unfortunately.
Well, it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
But luckily it's just hopefully it's just 5 days, maybe they'll get it done sooner. But yeah, hopefully everybody can
What are you thinking, Dennis?
have a little patience and bear with this project. It is not the city's. Next item,
The good thing about it is the school's closed
you know,
compared to the last time this happened. Cause it was terrible.
Nettie Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause they've done this before.
Yes.
I take it they just constantly drive past your house, though, just regardless. I mean, maybe we need to talk to Iroquois Paving about putting an informational sign that says temporarily no trucks will be enforced.
Well,
I've seen St. Anne do that.
I know a lot of the streets are already posted, but we could probably get boards, huh?
Yeah, it might not hurt to, I'll reach out to IDOT and the UP and see if what signage they're actually going to put up, but yeah,
I think right there where that's tore up now, it's not gonna be able to take a lot.
no.
I'm just more worried that, I mean, all of a sudden we get a big influx of trucks, heavy trucks going down streets that aren't rated for it. We're tearing up our streets. So, anything that we can do to put signage up to prevent them from making that turn and heading east and going right through the middle.
Yeah.
We need to protect our streets that way. So if we can reach out, I know IDOT's got an informational sign that sits in their yard and doesn't get used. If they could set one up at one end and
Sure.
if they could set one up from Iroquois Paving on the other side that says the same thing.
The
No
downfall
trucks
is the
will be-
local trucks or the people that have been through town. They're gonna know, hey, I can just cut down North Street instead of having to go all the way up to 52.
Right, that's what I mean, that's what
But-
we need to head off. Because once one sees it, the next one's gonna do it, the next one's gonna do it.
But
Because
here,
we're all gonna be
the
making
signs are only as useful as the people behind the steering wheel that's gonna follow them.
Good.
So do we put auxiliary, do we put, a police officer parked in that area to try to,
Well, I think they need to patrol it more. A few citations issued and published won't hurt either.
Right?
Yeah, municipal court, that's where that comes in at.
You pay right away.
I'm just saying, when St. Anne had the same kind of an issue, they had electronic signage advising
Yeah.
no trucks
Yeah.
through this area, and it was during the construction process. We're only talking 5 days. I just don't want a whole plethora of trucks tearing up our streets down through there.
That's a good point.
we'll see what we can do to get some signage, work with IDOT and do the best we can with that. Street sweeper ran the full route, including downtown in April. Haven't been getting too many complaints. We've been patrolling our catch basins and outlets or inlets along the streets during rain events. I haven't seen any street floodings. If you guys have, please report those to me. Today was a big day. We got our spray patch machine out. I had training with the crew. We worked some of the alley behind Mary's Emporium off Second Street in between Second and Third. Couple owners there, business owners there, were pretty excited to see that and thought that was a huge improvement already. We did a little bit of work there on Second by the railroad tracks and a little bit there on 8th and Walnut. Just kind of trying some different areas as far as divots and potholes and cracks. So just trying to get a good feel for the machine. We're going to keep it running as long as the weather cooperates and we can get material. We are working with the county. We're able to purchase it right from their bulk tank there at the edge of town. So it's very grateful for the county to work with us.
So when you have some pretty decent sized stretches, I know one of them that's desperate for it right now is Grant in front of the courthouse. It is bad. And it's all loose gravel, and I probably just asking the question to be asking, because I know you know different, or know how, but are you gonna run the sweeper down them first before you run that thing through to pick up all that loose?
Yeah, and then that machine has a built-in
got a blower, but-
so you blow everything off, and that thing, it's got a massive blower on it, so it cleans the street.
Okay.
It's pretty impressive. I operated and trained on it myself today to make sure I was capable of operating it and can monitor how these guys are operating as well. So yeah, that thing, it's going to be running. We're going to get a lot of time put on that thing this summer. I mean, we have a lot of repairs to make, and I think was a great investment on the city's part.
Well, I guess and I should have asked the question a long time ago when you're talking about buying it, but we've spent money in the past doing crack seal on streets. Is this, I mean, I don't know if, it's not really specifically designed for that, but can it be used in the same principle? So we're not subcontracting out crack seal?
The larger cracks, 100%. Like the 4th Street, we plan on sealing that crack where we were going to spend money on doing a 12-inch grind and fill on that. We're going to use it on that stretch. There's a lot of opportunities there. I mean, we're going to,
No, I know
it's going to pay for itself tenfold pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know the machine, so I was so much for it. I just hadn't thought about crack seal, because I know we were spending a lot of money with an outside contractor, even locally, but still, it's money that we shouldn't have to
You
spend
can't
if we can do
just
it.
crack seal with it. You have to use material on it. So, if it's just hairline cracks, you can't do much, because then, you'd end up with a hump on the road because you're applying rock with emulsion. But the larger cracks, yes, you can definitely fill in and repair.
If we didn't have this machine and we were gonna do standard asphalt potholing,
You couldn't do it right now. The plant we use is still not open because they've been rebuilding it. So I know we've gotten a lot of complaints for the potholes. I don't even have access to surface mix or binder. The only thing we could use right now is cold patch that does not hold up.
That's
So
a
it-
waste.
Yeah, it would be a waste of money. It would be a temporary fix. So
You'd be better off just gravel filling like you did
well,
on
that's
the
what
one on
we've
8th
been,
Street.
we've been doing some gravel filling just to get by until we were able to get this machine up and going, so.
Good deal.
very exciting.
Looking forward to seeing how Grant looks in the future.
Yeah.
So next item here, staffing. The one employee we had hired that was supposed to start on the 8th decided not to take the job with the city. Was offered more money with his current employer. So again, back to wages.
Can you elaborate on any of that, or no?
I don't have exact dollar amounts.
Just curious.
I didn't press anybody. So, so currently we're down 5 employees. We need to hire 3. One is still out on work comp. Another employee's taking FMLA leave due to a family illness.
So of that 5, 2 will be coming back.
So 2 will be coming back, and then
Possibly 2.
possibly 2.
We still don't have any updates on our work comp guy. Nothing.
I don't know how much I'm really allowed to discuss there, to be
Thank you.
honest with you.
Probably talk to Scott on the side on that.
Yeah,
Personally,
yeah.
discuss.
So currently we have 3 part-time high school students working with us, filling in the yard waste. We had 2 senior citizens, retirees, work in the yard waste. We now only have one that only covers the weekdays. The high schoolers split the weekends, giving some opportunities to our local high schoolers, see some of the city operations, provide them some wages. So we have 3 of them, kind of rotating them around, and they will be helping with the mowing part-time this summer as well. And then we hired a college intern for summer help. He'll be strictly seasonal, going back to college in August. This will help fill the void of our workman's comp employee, so we don't have to hire a full-time employee and then either terminate or lay off and be stuck paying unemployment with that. So, and we're offering a college student some summer work and introducing them to some city work as well. And it is a local individual, so we should see some city pride. I think this is good opportunity for the city to provide work and a paycheck to our younger students, college students. I think this really shows our involvement with the younger generation.
Good outreach.
It's really good outreach. Speaking with some of the FFA people and some of the students and teachers, they're very excited to see this. I think this is long overdue to get some of the younger generations involved. It's not much more than minimum wage, so we are paying less than we normally would in a full-time employee, and it's filling in voids that we can't fill in right now anyway, so.
Great job.
Some miscellaneous items. I also have a quote here for the security fence for the downtown vacant lot. It was an 8-foot tall black fence with the black slats. That came in at $6,640. He quoted it 2 different ways. It's either all factory coated, or some of the parts he would have to paint at the $6,640. If you do all factory coated, it's $7,275. It's 8 foot with a 4-foot gate in the back.
At prevailing wage, is that something else that we can do in-house?
Yeah, well, you can get a cost of material alone.
And ask on that warranty, if you would.
Yeah, and I'll question the warranty. But either way, I think we all had discussed that fence was needed to be put back up. We were originally looking at doing a wooden fence. That did not take place because the decision to do something with that lot had been up in the air. Recently, we talked with a local group that's willing to donate some concrete here. So we are seeking a donation there to be able to pour in a concrete pad and use some furniture that the city already has to make some improvements with that vacant lot. So if we move forward this fence, it would be after the concrete. Do we want to seek the cost and the material, or do we want to just move forward with having a fence company install this?
I don't know how much we're putting on your plate so far. I mean,
I think for this size fence, you're not saving that much in labor. I think the majority of this is hardware and material. The blacks, the slats and everything, that's where the cost comes into play. You're talking 8 foot tall by 34 foot wide. You talk, 3 posts, a 4 foot gate. I mean, I don't think the labor's all that much. And unfortunately, he didn't break that out. I can find that out if we really want to know, but I don't think doing it in-house is going to save us that much money here.
Have you done any digging on that lot? I just wonder if it's filled with debris.
I have not done any digging. That lot slopes so much, I'm gonna have to fill it about 8 inches on the backside of the pad to get that with a small slope to the backside. It's about 14-inch drop off.
You've got that, right?
The
Enough
fill? Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and use the fencing company, that you suggested.
Okay.
A plus, is it A plus, is that what it was?
Yeah, A+ Home Improvements.
Second.
Do we want to do the 6640 or do we want to do the 7275? All factory coated black. I think if you do all factory coated black, it's going to last longer
Yeah, I do
Vers-
too.
versus painting.
We're
So,
already doing it, so we might just as well.
I mean, for the $600 more, it's a factory coat. You're probably going to get a better warranty on that.
And we saved a bunch of money up front.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you're going with 7275? Okay. Bear agree?
Oh, shuffling my papers. Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
Delar?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Marcier?
Aye.
Rolfs?
Aye.
Cahill?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Roll call carried.
Couple other quick updates. The tree trimming started back up this month. We're still working through town. That has not been completed. That will take place as we have time here and there. Unfortunately, we won't be able to put that back on a full-time schedule. The skate at the lift stations in Oak Street and West Side Towers are completed. We do have the West Side Oak Street and the East Tower inspections coming up in the next month, so this will help because the East Tower has to be drained for an internal inspection, so now we'll actually have control through our other two towers on our wells. So the timing worked out perfect. And that is all I have.
You mentioned about the possible well over by Heritage, right?
So yeah, we are looking at 3 different well sites to do test wells. The mobilization, it makes sense to seek multiple spots in case the first site you find no water or bad